Okay, hold up. All right, before I react to all of my predictions being right, like always, I gotta be right back. Excuse me, weird ass looking Ginny. You can't see me right now, but I'm looking at myself in the mirror. That's kind of a weird voice to be doing that. All right. I gotta stay warm, baby. The summer is starting soon, so you know how I roll. Anyway, let's get to this so we can marvel at my genius. And we're gonna start with who? And we're gonna start with Liverpool versus Roma. Or as I like to call it, the Mohamed Salah derby. Come on, dude, was I trying to make a joke there? If so, it was a terrible attempt. You should be ashamed of yourself, so don't ever let me get away with that crap again, you promise? Also, let's get to my prediction already. Pow! Pow! Who says pow like that? Pow! Nobody says it like that. It's embarrassing. Okay, so after listening to the words coming out of my mouth for both of these clubs, I don't know what to predict, but I just don't see Roma being able to replicate the shock and awe on Liverpool and their experienced manager, Jurgen Klopp, who has proven to be a very astute manager in these types of competitions. So I think the Reds are going to get past Roma, but barely, 3-2 over 2 legs. So timeout, 2 things for you. 1, I had no idea that I was gonna go to the second leg of this matchup in Rome, which was amazing for a few reasons, but with regard to this reaction video, it helped me get to see a lot of the game that you can't see on TV since the TV cameras only follow the ball. And what I learned, or what I came to appreciate even more than what I had before, is that Liverpool and Roma are 2 teams that play with a ton of hearts, and I love that about both clubs. Also, I rate both of Roma's center backs, Manolas and Fazio, as defenders, but I really feel like both of them are liabilities on the ball. Even their simple passes weren't as good as they should have been, and I think that simple fact alone limits what Roma can do and can't do in possession. Also, I love the city of Rome and the people there, and I can't wait to go back. And 2, how close was my prediction? I know I said 3-2, which, what in the hell was I thinking? I mean, given the strength of both teams going forward and their slight vulnerabilities on defense, I should have made the score a little bit higher. But I nailed the 1-goal difference, and I said that Liverpool was going to win barely. So Illuminati confirmed. Who's next? And next up, it's Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid. Yes, 2 of the biggest clubs in Europe, which I also had the benefit of seeing leg 2 in person, which, shameless plug, I vlogged about. So if you guys haven't checked that out yet, I'll put the videos at the end. Anyway, what did I say? I want to know. I should put these back on and find out. Go. So again, after going back and forth in my head, because I feel like these teams are pretty evenly matched, and yes, because I know Madridistas hate it when I predict that their team is going to win, because they usually win if I predict them to lose, I'm going with Madrid to take this in penalties after they're all square 3-3 after 180 minutes of regulation and 30 minutes of extra time. Okay, no wait, stop here. If Bayern goalkeeper Sven Ulreich hadn't got caught in 2 minds about whether he should pick up the ball or whether he should clear it out, which then led to the ball rolling underneath him because he couldn't decide, which then allowed Karim Benzema to score one of the easiest goals of his career, then it would have ended 3-3 over 2 legs, and they definitely would have gone to penalties, and Madrid definitely would have won because I was in attendance at the Bernabeu, and they would have done it for me because they would want my prediction to be right. But alas, Ulreich did make a massive mistake and Bayern lost 4-3, and I have to sit here wondering, what if? So f***ing Sven Ulreich, I'm pissed. When is Manuel Neuer coming back? Also, my other notes after seeing leg 2 in person, Madrid don't need David De Gea. I believe that would be a huge waste of money to buy him because Keylor Navas is easily one of the most important players on the team. He is so good, and yes, I know he makes the odd mistake, but so do all those guys. And what else? What else did I notice? Robert Lewandowski? Well, he decided not to show up for leg 2, so I'm not sure whether to criticize him or applaud Madrid for locking him down. Maybe a little bit of both. Also, having not seen Corentin Tolisso, is that Corentin Tolisso play before? I was really impressed with his composure in tight spaces, though every single one of these guys is so good in tight spaces, like Luka Modric. That guy is amazing, so cool. Wish I could be him. Anyway, I could gush on and on about these guys, but let's move on to the Europa League semifinals. And first up is, and we're going to start with Marseille versus RB Salzburg. Marseille versus RB Salzburg. And look at that shirt I'm wearing. It's clear I like to stay warm for all of the seasons of the year. Also, I think I said Marseille, but I can't actually remember because I recall being pretty high on, listen, not that high, okay? Because fun fact for you, I've never smoked anything in my entire life. I felt like it wouldn't help me become a pro athlete, so I stayed away. Anyway, I recall being pretty high on Salzburg's current form, but let's see what I said. I believe that Tova's supporting cast is stronger than De Boer's, and I think that will be the difference as Marseille returns to the Europa League final for the first time since 2004. And just to make this official, I think the final score over the two legs will be 5-3. Okay, so I wasn't as close in this one as my Champions League prediction since Marseille had to beat Salzburg in extra time, which gave them the 3-2 win. But I did get the right winner, which means I'm 3 for 3, baby, which means I'm cruising. Who's next? And up next, it's the tastier of the two matchups, Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal. Yes, it's the battle of my two career mode teams in FIFA 17. Also, I went to the second leg of this matchup as well, and I ran into Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV, where he had convinced me that Arsenal had a chance in this one when I should have known better than to agree with him because Atleti are the kings of winning games 1-0, and of course they won this one 1-0. But let's see what I said. I actually believe that the Gunners have a real shot to establish a lead in leg one, which they won't give up in leg two. And Arsenal, on the back of some inspiring performances, specifically in the back line, as they try to win one last trophy for their long-serving manager, will somehow find a way to grind out the result they need as they get to their first ever Europa League final, and the score is going to be 3-2 over two legs. No, come on. I went with the Gunners because my heart wanted to see Wenger go out on a high note. No, not that type of high. Can you guys get your minds out of the smoky gutter? Please, come on, just for me. But my head knew all along that Atleti would probably do the business, especially at home. And frankly, I believe that Arsenal lost this matchup in leg one. They were up a goal and up a man for a majority of the game, and they could only get a 1-1 result, which pretty much sums up their season. It just wasn't good enough. So all right, I got 3 out of 4, and I will take that to the bank. And you're gonna take to the bank the knowledge that not only am I a predicting god, but that there are 2 previews for the Champions League and Europa League final coming over the next 2 days, so be on the lookout. Later. Wow.